Hi guys! So this is my first sketchbook tour and I'm going to show 3 sketchbooks from March to November of last year. It was when I started trying to draw again after about 8 years. I used to draw a lot when I was a kid, but then I went into 3D animation and I kind of got out of it. So one day I decided to sit down and doodle, and this is what came out. And I was watching Parks and Rec, and that's Ron from Parks and Rec. And I just realized that I definitely needed some more practice. So I think basically these sketchbooks that I'm showing now are just kind of doodles, experimentations, and I was basically just trying to create a daily habit where I would draw. So this is a tutorial from Cynics on YouTube where you draw the face as a piece of paper, like the form. And I thought it was really cool drawing the face as a piece of paper, but I never really understood how to put the face on top. So I didn't really get very far with that. This is a life study of our lounge and my feet. I drew some helicopters at work. I work in an airport museum, in an air museum. And I tried to do one of those repetitive drawings where you draw the same thing and you get faster and faster each time. I haven't done that again, but that was really fun actually. I got some school grade watercolors and I was just kind of experimenting. I don't think I even used watercolors when I was in high school, so this was completely new for me. This is my first kind of watercolor thing I did. It's Icarus falling from the sky. And some more watercolor. I mean, you can tell this is really bad paper. Some little dragons. And then this is a idea I got from Semi-Skimmed Min's channel on YouTube, where you have a certain amount of minutes from 1 to 6 and you pick a prompt and you just kind of doodle. That's quite fun. This is Easter. It's my Easter basket. And then I did a Skillshare tutorial, modern watercolor techniques, which was quite cool because, like I said, I've never used watercolor before, and it was kind of fun just practicing. I was still using, I think I was still using the school grade watercolors at this point. Some more techniques. Not the best, I mean, these aren't the best watercolors at all, so half the stuff didn't work, but it's still kind of fun to experiment with. And then this is the first person I drew, and from this, I mean, at the time I kind of thought this was good, but you can see I definitely needed a lot more practice there. I started to do some kind of warm-up sketches as I was going. I mean, this notebook was basically just for fun, I guess, and to try and make a habit. I quite like the style with the angles. So I did some female portraits in March, it looks like. Google search. This face. Yikes. And I really got into drawing people here. This one I actually made a digital piece on. Experiment with watercolor. Some more faces. I got my first scrawler box and I was messing around with the markers. All the keys from my keychain. It's kind of fun. Yeah, I got really into drawing people here. And then this was that, you know, that kind of game where you draw an object and you fill it in, try and make a face with it. And I used ink a lot to just cover up pages where things came through the other side. I actually really love using ink. Dragonfly. This was my first scroller box. The octopus. I really like the octopus. It's so cute. And this was when I was trying to do some traditional kind of tutorials and head drawing from, you know, old school days. And I mean, I understood how it worked, but I could never quite put the noses or the eyes on. It always just seemed, I don't know, I just couldn't get the hang of it. This is a view from our window. And this is when I got my Windsor & Newton watercolors. It's my first real watercolors. So that was a pretty exciting day. I guess just trying to fill up pages here. This is Lana Del Rey, first attempt. This was from that watercolor class I took on Skillshare. This was I was accessing my inner 5-year-old. And a little life study of our cupboard. This was like my first flowery watercolor picture I tried to do with my Windsor & Newton colours. I actually really like the colours in this. This is Lana Del Rey, second attempt and third attempt, and I definitely got better by the third attempt. So that's that one. And the second one I picked up in a scroller box. It was a tiny little sketchbook, so I thought I could try and make it a 1-week sketchbook challenge, but it took me 1 week and 11 days. So these are all the things I got with my scroller box. And I dropped my phone the same day and I broke it and I had to buy a new one. It was really sad. I really like that phone. Some colour wheel stuff. This is when we went skydiving. I was just kind of still doodling, messing around with my watercolours a lot, I think, at that point. And then I took another Skillshare class. This one was Peggy Dean, botanical line drawing. All little flowers and plants. It was really fun. Some yoga poses. And this ice cream, I held it in my hand as it melted and I drew it. It was during the summer. And this here is a photo that I took in Morocco. I really love architecture. I'm going to try and do lots of buildings after I finish my 100 Faces challenge. And this is Shaw from Persons of Interest. Some little cupcakes I made. I think I made these for my birthday. And this is the day I got about 3 zines or zines from Franard. And I copied one of her pictures into my book. I love her style so much. I didn't have the right colours though. I got these Copic markers for my birthday. And I also got some Ecoline inks. So I was just messing around with those. I also got these PH Martin inks for my birthday. And they are my favourite inks / watercolours right now. This is Miss Psycho Cat from Instagram. This was, I think I was using masking fluid here, just to do some random stuff. This is kind of like a journal page. We went to pitch and putt golf. It's quite fun. And this is Miss Psycho Cat as well. And then I think I put some little notes here after I drew the picture and I could see my mistakes. I put some little notes as to where the proportion should have been instead. So that's kind of helpful for the future, like just to assess what you've done. And that's the end of that one. And then my last one took me quite a while to fill up actually, between June and November. So this is Dale Rowney. The pages I guess are better than the last 2, but still not perfect. I got a new scroller box and I got the chameleon pens, and I was really excited to get them because I've wanted to try them for so long. But I realised I do not have the patience for chameleon pens because you have to wait so long for the inks to blend into each other. So I think these are the only 3 pages I've ever done with them. I saw a bunny being taken for a walk on a leash and I thought, well, WTF? So I drew it. And little marker doodle. This one here, I actually turned into a digital piece as well. I took it into Procreate and I actually changed the proportions because you can see on here the head is a bit unproportionate. So that's why I like digital art, because you can do that. It's a lot of freedom. Here I was doing a tutorial from Teo on Parker Blocks where you do cold and warm. You mix cold and warm colours, and I used my Windsor & Newton and my PH Martins, and I got very confused and I kept mixing the wrong things. But it was an interesting tutorial. So I got some life drawing books out and read them. I don't think I did much with them. I think I just read them or looked at the pictures. Some marker stuff. Just using my PH Martins here. This is an image I saw online of this really colourful village, so I tried to copy it. And to be fair, it was this colourful in real life, but here it's a bit of a mess of colours. Oh, and here I tried to redo the hands from this page. So I tried to redraw them just to kind of see where I'd gone wrong and what I can improve on. Little doodle. Got some new plants. So these are kind of basically, I was just trying to get into a habit, trying to draw every day, trying to get back into traditional art, away from the computer. So there's nothing here really crazy. There's nothing that's gonna like change the world. But it was all fun. It's experimenting, you know. It's helpful. This page is probably the scariest page you've ever drawn. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. This one here I really liked. I turned it into a little digital piece, but she kind of ended up looking like an elven fairy, which I wasn't going for. I guess it's the hair and that ear. Got some more scrawler boxes. This was all kind of pencils and stuff. I didn't really use these boxes much. Oh, I was playing with my Ecoline inks there. It's a pencil sketch. I don't really like coloured pencils apart from for sketching with. These are some more faces from imagination. So I kind of think my goal is to keep trying to draw faces from imagination. I know that reference is really important, but I kind of want to build up a library in my head of forms and proportions, and then try to draw my own characters to get my own style. So I think if I just keep going and keep practicing and studying, and then go back to draw from my imagination, my character's going to get a lot better. So you can see here, I tried to redraw this face from here, because it wasn't quite right. Definitely not right. But I think I prefer this one to this one. Something about her makes her look like a little mouse. So I kind of also, in these journals, in these notebooks, in these sketchbooks, I used them as kind of journals. So what I did that day, I had lentil ragu that day. It was okay. Some little snails. This was the last scrawler box I got last year. I kind of cancelled it after this because I wasn't getting anything that interesting. I had this little ruler in that you could make isometric drawings with. This is a little self-portrait of me at a Mexican restaurant. And a tree. I really love this tree. This is Kelly Roberts from YouTube. I was trying to run a lot more, so I thought if I drew pictures of people running, I would be motivated to run more. But by the time I'd finished drawing the picture, I was like, I'm too tired to run. I was trying to blend my Copic markers. I kind of chose my Copic markers on the colours that I liked, so none of them blend or mix together very well. This was, we went for a day out in Gold Hill in England. It's famous for being in a Hovis ad. Some landscape studies. This here is probably my favourite picture in all of my sketchbooks. I don't know why. I think I just really like the way her face turned out. It's really stylised. And I love the colour. I think I was doing some outfit of the days from Pinterest or Instagram. Some more little doodles. I love the expression on this woman's face. She's like, what are you looking at? And then this is from Instagram. It's Fat Girls Traveling. They have a really cool Instagram. Really nice photos. And then I got my new sketchbooks this day. And at this point, I just wanted to finish this book so I can move on to my new sketchbooks. So I kind of rushed these pages. And I mean, I can tell that I rushed them. This was from Instagram. Tokyo Fashion Instagram. They've got awesome pictures on there. And this is when I was watching Vikings and I was obsessed with Lagatha. This is when I got gouache. I got the Windsor & Newton designer gouache and I was just doing some swatches. And I haven't used gouache before, ever. So I was really excited to use it. I think I've only done maybe 3 or 4 pieces with it, but I really want to do more. This one here I made into a digital piece. I really like how her face turned out. And this is the day we went to see It. This is gouache as well. And yeah, it was really good. It was really good. These are some plants, random plants. These are my favorite flowers. They are called Birds of Paradise. I think I was trying to fill up the pages here by doing some life studies. These are all from Croquis Cafe on YouTube. This is when I was trying to make a little avatar for my Instagram. I was trying to draw myself as a cartoon. It's quite fun. Random ink lady. I think I was ramping up for Inktober because this must have been when I was doing all of my ink pens and to see if they're all waterproof. I got my new ink brush, so I was messing around with it. And then this is Lady Gaga. I was watching her documentary and I decided to draw her in gouache, and I'm actually happy with this one because I basically just sat down and I drew it as I was watching it, but I didn't do any pencil sketches before. I just went in straight in, and it doesn't look 100% like her or perfect, but the fact that I did it, I just kind of like leapt in there. That makes me happy. These are some random houses from America. This is when we got some fudge from Dartmouth from someone. And I drew a picture of Dartmouth. I've never been there before, but it looks like a lovely place to go. Some little mushrooms. This is when I was trying to do hairstyles and I used gouache as a background, but my pens didn't really work very well on gouache, so it was a bit frustrating. But I think this is a really cool exercise to do because when I think of hairstyles, I kind of draw a blank. So if you have a library of them in your head, I guess that would be good. This is like a little journal page of when I did a run. And then I went to Dallas on a work trip, and this was kind of like my journey, what I ate and what I watched. Baywatch, 9 out of 10. Wow, must have been good. This is when I learned how to make noodles in America. Some more America stuff. All the stuff I did when I got home. And it was bonfire night when I got home, and we went to this really cool bonfire and fireworks display. So I tried to draw it the next day in gouache, and I realized that you can't really put lighter colors on top of the black because it activates it and then everything gets muddy. All the sweets I got from America. This was a really strange bug I think I saw in a news article, and I had to draw it. It didn't really turn out like him, which is a shame. He kind of looks like a praying mantis. This is a sloth. Random page. I got some really cool gold ink from Windsor & Newton, and I decided to do some cool snails. I was going to use this for Inktober, but I didn't in the end. But I really want to do something in the future because it's so pretty. I got some little plants. This was my last gouache painting, kind of like an experiment. I really want to use it more in the future. And this is the last page with a weird little bird. And that's that one. And then after that, I went on to my challenge, which was a 100 days challenge to draw one face every day for 100 days. So that's what this book and my next book is, which I'm hopefully going to do a tour of when I finish. And that's everything. Thanks for watching. Bye.